Hello, Happy New Year. Welcome to another yearly sort of wrap-up review ranking. This time it's going to be, I think this is the one maybe I'm most looking forward to. It is my theatre ranking of all the shows I saw in 2025. And I think 2025 was my best year ever. When I was just about to put them into the tier ranking thing, I was like, let me guess how many I think I've seen. And I wrote down 25 in brackets saying, that might be an exaggeration, that seems like too much. And then when I put them in, I think it was at like 32, 33. I need to double check. I've just put it in charge. But that's a lot. That's a lot. And I think what made a really big difference is that over the course of like a month, I had family here. My sister, I think, got here in early June. And no, that's not right. In early May. And then the last member of my family was my father, who left, and that was, I think, the end of June. We did have like a 2.5 week holiday in between. So yeah, it works out to about a month of family being here and wanting to see shows and paying for shows. And let me tell you, that makes a huge difference. Well, it doesn't really, because I'm going to see shows anyway, and a lot of the shows, how many of the shows that I saw with my parents and family would I have wanted to see anyway? I don't know. But I do pay for theatre. I just like to find good deals. But when my family members pay for theatre, obviously, that's much preferred. And for the first time this year, I'm going to acknowledge how much I spent on theatre, which is not something I like to do. I don't like to talk about money very much. I am going to do a 6-month expenses thing that may have already come out or not yet. I don't know. But even then, I like to keep figures vague. But in this case, I'm going to give you the hard facts. And the reason why I'm going to do that is because I want to compare how much I spent to how much the seats were actually worth. Because again, there were a lot that were paid for by other family members. There were some that were gifts. There were some that I got as rush. There were some that I got, I don't even know. Like, one of my jobs is a charity, and so I get discounted tickets through that. That kind of thing. So I've already worked out the total cost. And when I pressed enter and saw the number, I did think, oh, I wish I hadn't seen that. And the total number across the, let's call it, for the sake of maths, 33 shows, is £339.70, which is a lot. But equally, theatre is like the one thing I do. As I've spoken about before, I don't go out, I don't spend money, I walk instead of taking public transport. Like, I really cut my costs everywhere I can, and so theatre is the one thing I let myself have. And across 33 shows, that's like just over £10 per show. So that's not so bad. That's really not so bad. That's really good, actually. And I haven't yet pressed enter on the total because I think I'm going to be shocked by this. I think it's going to be, I feel like 600. That's where my head is at. I think it's going to be 600. Let's see. The total my seats were worth. Now, some of these I couldn't actually work out because I bought them off other people and I didn't go back and check like what the value actually should have been. Because that's another way I sometimes get discounted tickets, is just by buying last minute. But the grand total is 600. Seems like so much. That seems excessive. Maybe 500. Here we go. 900. £910.75. That's like 2.5 times what I spent, which makes sense. That makes a lot of sense because I spent approximately £10 per ticket and the cheapest ticket that you can probably get in a theatre is about 25. So that makes sense. Although, again, that's on the cheap end. But wow, that's actually way more than I thought. So with that information, almost £1,000 worth of show seats. But again, I spent a third of that, so that's not so bad. So let me grab my computer and let's go. I'm very excited, can you tell? I love theatre. Also, just before I do jump into it, I want to say that I vlogged pretty much every show I went to see, obviously not the shows themselves, but like the experience surrounding it, and also my immediate thoughts after. And I've noted down in here my star ratings, which we might come back to in a moment and look at. In fact, I should keep this open. But if you're interested in seeing the experience, check out my vlogs, one of these sides. Let's go! Okay, sorry, my bad, it was 32 instead of 33, but still, not so bad. And I'm gonna go in chronological order, and as I mentioned somewhere, maybe my top favourites, I can't remember, but the experience of going to see a show also makes a big difference in terms of how I feel about it. If it was a really pleasant experience compared to if I was treated, not very nicely, or if I was rushed, or if I was tired, etc. With that in mind, let's have a look at the first one. The first one was Operation Mincemeat. This was quite a last-minute booking, and I'd already seen it a couple of months before, and the thing that annoyed me about this more than anything was that I spent much more money than I would have liked. I think it was about £30, so still not crazy, but it was just more than I would have liked for a rewatch of a show. Like I felt a bit about it, but I still did enjoy it. I'm gonna put it in really good. This one would actually also be interesting to see how I rated it last time. And also I'm curious how many of these are rewatches. I might count that at the end as well. I've got so many statistics about theatre like that I've seen. Much Ado About Nothing, I don't know whether to put that in really good or 10 out of 10 love. I had such a good time with it. And again, the overall experience was great. My seat was amazing. Did I follow the plot 100% and understand every single one of the lines? Probably not. It was Shakespeare. But I have really, like, I can't think of anything that I didn't enjoy about it. So I'm going to put it in 10 out of 10 love. Next, The Importance of Being Earnest. This was the National Theatre at Home, or live, or whatever you want to call it, where we went to see it in a cinema rather than in person. And it was good. I think I enjoyed it. I don't think I was blown away by it. Next, Mean Girls. Again, I had a really good time with this one. I loved the show when it first came to Broadway years ago, and it was exciting to finally see it. It wasn't one that I necessarily had on my own list of going, but my cousin came and she wanted to see it, and we did have a good time. I really enjoyed it. I think I'm going to put it in really good. Next, The Book of Mormon. This is one that I have been asked to see by quite a few people for many, many years, and I've been very resistant to it, but I finally saw it, and I did enjoy it. And I don't know if I want to put it in good or in really good, because I feel like I enjoyed it more than The Importance of Being Earnest, but probably less than Mean Girls and Operation Mincemeat. I wonder if I should put The Importance of Being Earnest in all right, and then we put Book of Mormon in good. That feels more accurate for now. Matilda, this is probably after Les Miserables the show I've seen the most, but I went to see it with Wayne, who'd never seen it, and I just love it so much. I'm going to put it in really good. It's hard with this show because I've seen it that many times. It's really hard for me to differentiate the different versions and casts I've seen, and where I've been sat and things like that. But I actually do remember this was the opening night for a lot of a new, I can't speak, I'm too excited. It was the opening night for a lot of the cast. It was their first run in front of like an actual paying audience. So that was exciting. So what did I say I was going to put in? I think really good. Next, Rise. This was more of a workshop kind of development piece, and I did enjoy it. It was good. I think it was good. It's hard when it's, not fully fleshed out or anything. And I think similarly about Bordello. Again, this was a workshop piece. It was good, but it did need a bit more fleshing out. And, I think this was the first time they did it in front of an audience, so fair enough. But I think I'll put it in good because I did still enjoy it. Next, Wicked. Again, this was a rewatch for me, but only the second time I've seen it. And again, it was because Wayne hadn't seen it. Oh, and I did enjoy it. We were really far back though, so it's really hard to see. But obviously I know the story inside out, and plus with all the influences of the movies, I love it, but I'm going to put it in really good. Next, MJ. I forgot that we saw that this year. It was fine. I liked the dancing. Obviously I liked some of the songs, most of the songs, but it didn't wow me, it didn't blow me away, and I don't know whether to put it in good or all right, but then when I look at The Importance of Being Earnest and I look at the others, I want to put it in good. Next, this is a StarKid one that was online. It's Cinderella's Castle, the newest show. Well, actually not anymore, but it was at the time. And I enjoyed it. I liked it. I think I didn't love it as much as some of the others, but a lot of the others I've seen many, many, many times. So maybe if I rewatched it now, I would have different opinions on it, but I'm going to put it in good. Next, Star Kids. I can't believe it's been a little less than a year. This was my first ever concert, even though you probably couldn't really call it a concert because we were in the Palladium, like it was a theatre. But I had such a good time. I think it needs to go in 10 out of 10 love. I had so much fun. It was just the best. Next, Here We Are, which was Sondheim's final musical, and I think this was a case where someone was selling a ticket, and so I ended up getting a very cheap ticket, and I wasn't necessarily planning on going, but I was curious, and so when this opportunity came up, I was just like, yes, let's take it, and I am going to put it in... I think I'm going to put it in good. It was really weird, really wacky, but I did enjoy it, so we're going to put it in good. Next, the one that I have not stopped talking about at all, and I'm really, really sad that Wayne didn't get to see it at the time, because I would have loved to talk about it with him and have him experience it as well, but it is Schacht from the Regent's Park Open Air Theatre, and it was probably my favourite musical of this year, so that's going in 10 out of 10 love. Next, Choir of Man. I went to see this because my sister really wanted to, and I had heard good things. There was a lot about it that I liked, but I just wasn't wowed by it. And again, I'm torn between all right and good, but then when I look at it next, well, I feel like I'm underrating the importance of being earnest. I feel like I enjoyed it more than like how I remember it. And I think trying to remember that I did enjoy it, I'm going to put Choir of Man in that same category, because I did enjoy it, but I think I liked it less than a lot of the others. And also I'd heard such good things about it and it just didn't quite meet the expectation, but I did still really enjoy it. Next, Cabaret. This was also a rewatch for me, and it had been a while since I'd seen it last. I think it was 2022, I believe. And at that time we were all the way up in the gods, as far away as you could be, whereas this time we were a bit nearer, and I felt like I could follow the story a lot better. And I don't know if that's to do with the actors, to do with the fact that I've seen it again, as opposed to the first time, to do with the fact that we were closer, I don't know, but I really enjoyed it, so I'm gonna put it in really good. Next, The Mad Ones. This is a show I fell in love with during COVID, but it's one of those that has no like footage of anything online except the cast recording, and it was hard to even know what it was about, and so when it came to London I was quite keen to see it, but I just couldn't make it work, and then very last minute my sister and I couldn't find anything else to see, so we went, and I was very glad we did. And it was a tiny theatre. I can't remember. I think it was at the other palace, but it wasn't like the main theatre. It was tiny. And I feel like they probably could have done a lot more if it had been a bigger stage and a bigger space. But I did really enjoy it. Do I put it in good or in really good? I feel like really good. I don't know if that's right, but that's where I'm going to put it. Next, Giant. This was a play, and it was intense and eye-opening. But it was very good. So I think I'm going to put it in really good. Then Hadestown. This is one that my family were particularly keen to see, especially my sister and my mum. And I was curious. I've heard so many good things about it. I listened to the cast recording a while ago and I wasn't blown away by it, but I was willing to be open to it, and it just didn't quite do very much for me, unfortunately. I don't know if I missed something, because there were moments that I loved, but there was just overall I wasn't blown away. But you know, maybe I need to watch this one again and see if that changes my mind. But for now I'm going to put it in all right, and I'm very sorry to all the theatre and Hadestown fans, because I know that that's not a common opinion. And I think I probably would really like to play Eurydice. That seems like a cool role. Next, Just for One Day, and this was another quite last minute choice, and that was because my father ended up staying longer in London than any of us were expecting. And so we had an extra night and we said, let's find a show. And it was a Monday night, so there weren't that many shows anyway. And either he's seen quite a lot, or there are some that he just doesn't have any interest in. And also there was a factor of money. We wanted to try and get something relatively cheap, so I was looking for Rush tickets, and Just for One Day came up, and obviously that's more popular music anyway, although my father does like musicals, but it just seemed like a very good one, and he's in the right like age demographic as well for it. And it was one that I had absolutely no interest in seeing. Like, I've heard good things, but for some reason nothing about it piqued my interest, but when we went to see it, I did really enjoy it. And I don't know whether to put it in good or in really good, but then when I look at the two different bands, it doesn't feel like it belongs in really good. But it was really good. This one's also a hard one because this was a weird night. Like, just before the show started, my mum had left and we found out that her plane was turning around and coming back, and it was just like hard to completely focus. Oh, this is the one I feel most torn about at the moment. Why is that? That doesn't make sense. I think I'm going to put it in good. I think like I wouldn't, and the reason why I think that is because I wouldn't recommend it as much as the ones in really good, which is weird because like for certain people, absolutely, I highly would recommend it. But yeah, I don't know. I can't explain. I don't have a good reason. It feels like it belongs in between, to be honest. Next, Benjamin Button. This was a gorgeous piece of theatre, but it was so painful. And I don't know if I want to put it in really good or in 10 out of 10 love. I think I'm going to put it in really good. And I don't have a reason for that, like not a valid, solid reason. I think it's just because I loved Shucked so much, and it was obviously a happier, funnier show. And when I compare it to Benjamin Button, I just don't have the same response as I do to when I think about Shucked. But I loved Benjamin Button. It was gorgeous. Next, The Great Gatsby. This was one that I had no interest in seeing, and my sister really wanted to see it and we didn't get a chance, and then my cousin came and she wanted to see it, and so we did go, and then I bumped into people from Australia, close friends who I haven't seen or didn't know that they were in London, and it was just crazy. It was wild. It was a great night. But the question is, where do I put it? I really enjoyed it. But I feel like I actually enjoyed it more after the fact and when I went back and listened to all the songs. but I'm gonna put it in really good. I enjoyed it. Next, 35 millimeters, a musical exhibition. This was again not like it's not a production necessarily in the same way as like other musicals. It's a song cycle more than anything. It was good. I think it was good. I think that's where I'm gonna leave it. Like, it could go in really good, but again, I don't feel like it belongs in that category when I compare it to the others, but it might. Like, I had a good time with it, but I'm gonna put it in good. And then Evita. Evita was one. I love the show Evita, but for whatever reason, when it came to London this year, I didn't feel any inclination to go. And I don't know why not. But then, the night before I went away on a trip, someone posted that they were giving away a ticket. Not giving away, selling cheaply a ticket. And I just thought, if I don't take this opportunity, I'm gonna miss out. And I was absolutely right to do that. Absolutely right. And I had such a fun time. Like, as I say, I like the music of Evita so much, and I just hadn't listened to it for so long, and Rachel Zegler honestly is such a star. I'm not just saying that because she's famous or whatever. She's so watchable. And the whole, like, the dances were so good. I really enjoyed it. And now I'm wondering if I put it in 10 out of 10 love. And I can't see a reason not to. So I think I'm going to put it there. Next, we've got Tina, which is another one that I had no interest in seeing, even once it closed, or once it was announcing that it was closing. But Wayne's family was here, and they invited me to come along with them, and I thought, why not? And this was like a couple of days before it closed, maybe a week. And so I went, and it was fine. I think I might not like Tina's music very much to begin with. Obviously some songs I love, but just in general, or maybe I just don't know it. But it just didn't blow me away, so I'm going to put it in all right. And then we've got 101 Dalmatians, and this is one, it was silly. It was really silly, and I cannot say that I didn't love it. I cannot say that. But it was probably my least favourite show of the year. But I had a good time. I had fun. It was so silly. It was ridiculous, so I'm going to put it in all right. Yes, it annoyed me at times, but at no point was I like, oh, I wish I hadn't seen this, or, well, I never think that, but in the interval and at the end, I didn't have a bad feeling about it. It was just a show I would not recommend, but I had a good time. I had fun, so I don't feel like I can put it in anything else. Then Brigadoon, this was another unexpected one, and I got quite cheap tickets for this one. This one was through the charity, and I knew nothing about it going in except Brigadoon, Brigadoon, da 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 da. That's probably not the tune. And the story was not what I was expecting. It was quite fun. And the dance and the music was beautiful, especially the dancing, actually. That stole the show for me. I kind of feel like I want to put it in really good, which is not what I would have expected of myself. But I think the dancing just like tips it over the edge. So I'm going to put it in really good. Then, The Importance of Being Earnest, the actual production, or round 2, I suppose. I think it was at the Noel Coward Theatre, I believe. And this is one that needs a massive disclaimer. I was able to get like VIP tickets to the opening night, and so the whole experience was incredible, and I had such a fun time. It was so good. So does it go in 10 out of 10 love, or does it go in really good? In my head, I want to put it in 10 out of 10 love, but I feel like that might be because of the whole experience. Like, the whole experience was probably the best experience of the year in terms of theatre. And I'm finding that really hard to separate from just the play as it was. And it was a very good play and very excellent cast, especially the 2 female leads. But everyone was great. I think maybe I just don't like, and this might be like sacrilegious, but I think I don't like The Importance of Being Earnest very much, just as a play. Maybe I shouldn't say that. But yeah. So I'm going to put it in really good, just because I do have that slight hesitation. But yeah, it was so good, and I had such a good time, and I'm so honoured to have got that ticket. Next, the Cadre reunion concert. Oh, I mean, for those of you who don't know, who haven't seen any of my other videos, Cadre is a Dutch band that I was absolutely obsessed with when I lived in Holland and when I was a child, and then continued to like, and then stopped listening to for a bit, and then started to listen again, I think during COVID, maybe just after. But then one of the original 3 had stopped 16 years ago, and the other 2 stopped like 9 or 10 years ago, and they were replaced and the music kept going and blah, blah, blah. But the original 3 came back and did a show, and it was incredible. I loved it. I'm going to put it in 10 out of 10 love, just because it was like 2 hours of pure nostalgia, and like being in a room with a bunch of other people who felt the same way. It was incredible. So that definitely belongs up there. But like, it wouldn't be a 10 out of 10 show for anyone else. It'd be a good show. It's fun. It was fun. But anyway, next, The Way. How did I feel about this one? I think I'm going to put it in all right. I was not blown away by it, and I'm sorry about that. I went to see it with Wayne, who is Irish, and he loved it. But I think perhaps not being Irish, I missed some things, or I don't know. I've always said plays do less to me than musicals, so that might be another factor. Yeah, I don't know, but we're just going to put it in all right. And then the final play of the year was Wendy and Peter Pan, which I really enjoyed. I'm going to put that in really good. And then finally, I went to another concert. This really has been the year of concerts for me. I went to 3, and that was Dodie's concert. I don't know if it had a name. I think it was just Dodie, but it was 4, not for lack of trying. And I really enjoyed it. I'm going to put it in really good. So there we go. No didn't loves this year. That's great. Can I delete this? Yay. And let me just count out of the 32, how many were rewatches. Technically Evita, because I have seen a very different production of Evita before. Operation Mincemeat was, Matilda, Wicked, Cabaret. Funny that a few of those really good ones, but I guess I want to re-see shows that were good. But nothing else in this category. Well, unless you count The Importance of Being Honest, but I'm not going to count it. Nothing there, and nothing there. Interesting. Only 5. Actually, that's not... And it's actually only 4, because Evita was such a different production. It's completely incomparable. And now we're going to do the thing that's going to really annoy editing me, but I liked having it in the last video, which is look at the star ratings that I gave it. I always give it a star rating out of 5, like immediately after, and compare that to my ranking. See if I've got it right. let's. I'm just going to go in chronological order, so it'll jump on the page. Sorry about that. So Operation Mincemeat, I gave a 4. Much Ado About Nothing, 4.25. Mean Girls, 4.25. See, where's the logic there? Those are 2 different categories, and yet I gave them the same rating. Who knows why? Well, I think it's to do with the overall experience, probably. And the fact that I generally enjoy plays a lot less. And so this was a surprise, whereas I knew that I liked like the music and stuff of Mean Girls. Anyway, continuing on, Book of Mormon, I still gave a 4 to. So like, I obviously did still enjoy it. Matilda, also a 4. Bordello, a 3.5. That's fair. Wicked, 4.25. Another one of those. MJ 3.75, Star Kid, I can't believe it's been a little less than a year, 4.5. I didn't give a star rating to the Cursed Child. I don't know why, but I didn't. Nor to The Importance of Being Earnest, the films thing. I think when you're not in a theatre, I feel like I don't want to give it a star rating because you don't have the same experience at all. But yeah, Star Kid, I can't believe it's been a little less than a year. 4.5 deserves to be in the top tier. Here we are, a 4. Again, like, what's going on? Shocked, also only a 4. I'm so surprised by this. That's so funny. Choir of Man, 3.5. Cabaret, a 4.25. Very nice. Mad Ones, 4. Giant, 4.5. Yeah, that's fair. Actually, it's not. That should be in the top category. But anyway. Hadestown, a 4. Oh my gosh. These things are all over the place. Wow. Just for One Day, a 4. Curious Case of Benjamin Button, a 4.25. Great Gatsby, a 4. Like, what? Anyway. 35mm, also a 4. Evita, 4.5, that deserves to be in the top. Tina, 3, and 101 Dalmatians, a 3, so fair enough. Brigadoon, a 4. Importance of Being Earnest, a 4.5, so I should have put it in the top tier, but hey-ho. The Cadre Reunion Concert, a 5. One of the few 5s I've ever given in my life. I don't generally give out 5s, even for anything, including books. The Weir, a 3.25. Wendy and Peter Pan, a 4, and then the Dodie concert I did also give a 5 to, and I don't know why I put it in really good as opposed to 10 out of 10 love. I can't give you a reason for that, but it seems like I can't give you a reason for most of these because wow, that does not add up. But it's interesting how like over time one's opinion on things might change, or does change. Now, I haven't been daring to say it until this point, but my computer has been behaving so well. It hasn't made very much noise, and that's so rare. But I do think I'm going to wrap it up here. Have one final look at my top shows of the year. As you can see by now, there's no rhyme or reason to it. And I'm going to close this and I'll just quickly say goodbye. I did feel like this year was a very good year, and it felt like I saw a lot of shows, and I did, and that they were good, which they were. I'm very grateful to all the opportunities, A, that I've had to spend money on theatre, but B, that other people have given me to go see theatre, such as my parents paying for tickets or, you know, getting discounted tickets or whatever. I know it's a luxury. I have said this before. I do feel that I fight for cheap tickets. Like I won't go see something unless I get a good deal. But I acknowledge the fact that I live in London and can usually get to a theatre with sort of an hour and a half's notice. So that puts me in sort of a special category in terms of getting like last minute deals and things like that. If you've seen any of these shows that I've spoken about, please let me know where you would rank them or how you felt about them. If there's any that I put in like the alright category that you loved or vice versa, I'd love to know. And also if you have any recommendations for shows to see in 2026. I feel like I've kind of caught up on most of the like long-standing productions here. I feel like of the long-standing ones, I've seen all the ones that I want to see more or less. I'd really love to see The Lion King again, which I saw when I was a child. I think I was maybe 7 or 8, but I don't remember very much of it. I definitely remember some bits, but I'd love to rewatch that. But aside from that, I don't think there's much left in terms of ones that I haven't seen. So yeah, and there are some coming next year that I'm curious about, but I don't feel like as excited about them as some in the past. So as of where I'm sat right now, I don't feel like I can say, oh, I'm definitely going to see this in 2026, but we'll see. I'm sure there'll be some theatre in 2026, although I don't know when, and I don't think it will be quite as much as in 2025. But that's okay. That's fine. I'm just grateful for the opportunities that I do get. But that is all from me in this video. I will see you soon in another one. Bye!